everybody, and welcome to 17 Minutes of Science. I was delighted to discover that today is our 17th episode of 17 Minutes of Science, so that seems super special. And we're almost at the 17th of July, so we have a 17 thing going on. My name is Sarah Cheeseman, and I am a technical solutions scientist at NVivo Biosystems. And today I'm really delighted to have Daniel Dominguez Gomez joining us from outside Mexico City to talk about biotech startups in Latin America versus how it goes here in the United States. So Daniel is a biotech engineer and a graduate of the National Polytechnic Institute of Mexico. Currently, he serves as Strategic Alliances Director and a member of the board at All Biotech, a nonprofit organization that aims to foster the adoption of bioeconomy at the regional level. So this group achieves this by the formation of a community of biotechnology leaders as critical mass of scientists and entrepreneurs who actively participate in formulation of public policy, collaborations, and sharing experiences and results openly. So, and when he's not doing that, Daniel is also an innovation manager at L&M Consulting, a firm dedicated to developing novel technologies on digital agriculture, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology. So join me in welcoming Daniel. And it'd be great if you could add a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. Thanks a lot for the invitation. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here with you. I'm a huge fan of your work at 17 Minutes of Science and your work at NVivo. And yeah, thank you for the introduction. You pretty summarized a lot of our work at All Biotech. And I would just add that I'm really passionate about biotechnology, synthetic biology, and I have this desire to improve and foster its development in Latin America, in Mexico, and all the other Latin American countries. And I'm also an ambassador for Latin America for the IGEM Foundation, the IGEM competition on synthetic biology. So I'm delighted to be here with you.
Well, thank you for being here. And you just led into my first question, which is I'd love to know what is or was the driver behind founding All Biotech, and can you also tell us about the name?
Yeah. Actually, All Biotech is a way to play with the words. It's all biotechnology for America Latina, that is Latin America in Spanish. And we also add another letter, another L, to refer to leaders. So we're looking for leaders and change makers that can strengthen the biotechnology ecosystem in the region. And yeah, this organization was born because of we are a lot of people, a lot of young people, and we're tired to wait for others to solve our problems. And yeah, we are based on the premise that all Latin American countries share these historical strong ties between the countries. And also, we face similar social and political problems. As you may know, all the awful things that you can hear about Latin America: corruption, poverty, hunger, insecurity. But we also share really good things. We have an immense biodiversity, we have vast natural resources, and mainly we have a tremendous amount of very talented people and young people. And yeah, we want a change. We want to promote regional integration, and we want to do it through science as a way to integrate the region, and especially biotechnology and bioeconomy.
One of the things that I have always loved about being a scientist is that it is an international language. And so yeah, you just spoke to that. That's wonderful. When did you found All Biotech? What year?
Yeah, we started working at the end of 2016, and we officially founded the organization back in January of 2017.
And how many members do you have now?
We started by just being four people, 3 from Chile and me from Mexico. And right now we have more than 200 members across all Latin American countries, almost all Latin American countries, just except from Cuba. From 17 countries we have members, and they are spread through more than 30 countries around the world.
That's fabulous. And what can you tell us about underlying themes or differences between the kind of biotechnology, bioeconomy that is driving through your region, and what you see in your part of the world versus what you see when you look to the north, to North America?
Yeah, we have this problem that with the Latin American people used to arrive late everywhere. So we have this curse to being late at every technological revolution. And right now we are late, like 20 years late for the biotechnological revolution. So we think that bioeconomy and biotechnology can be a key driver for economic and social development for our countries. And mainly startups can be a way to create this impact, to create more and better jobs, to attract investment from all over the world to Latin American countries. And bioeconomy is a way to have a better use of our natural resources, to exploit our vast biodiversity in a sustainable way. We can produce more foods in less space, meaning that we do not need to deforestate our forest. We can reduce the environmental impacts of some of the most important industries here that are agriculture, livestock. And we also have the opportunity to improve our health, to develop solutions for the local health issues, such as dengue, Zika, malaria. And the thing is that, as I told you, we're late and we're way behind the developed world. So we want to make this leap to break the gap between developed economies and our countries. So, well, in terms of the difference, we can speak like about money, time, infrastructure. But yeah, I think we have a lot of work to do, but we're starting.
With your colleagues at All Biotech, are you seeing most of the companies that you're supporting to launch in those areas that are tackling problems in those areas you mentioned around health, around agriculture, around natural resource?
Yes, most of the companies are focused on agriculture. Some of them are also focused on health. And I think they are facing particular challenges here. As you know, creating a new startup, a biotech-based startup, involves a lot of technical knowledge. So let's just assume that every entrepreneur has this technical background. But we face some challenges in terms of the time. It's really different making science here than it is in the US. For example, if you order some primers for a new PCR reaction, you need to wait like 4 or 5 weeks to have just the reactives to start. And right now in the US with all this logistic revolution, you just order the primers or the reactives and you have it the next day, no? Just like in Amazon Prime. So in terms of the time, it takes a lot more time for the regulation, for imports, I mean, a lot of challenges. Mm. Also, in terms of the money, there are a lot of money in Latin America, let's just make it clear. But the thing is that traditional investors are not looking to invest in science. They are used to quick businesses. So they do not have the patience needed to invest and support a biotech-based business. And finally, in terms of infrastructure, we've been investing a lot in developing new laboratories, new research centers, but this is just for the larger countries like Mexico, Brazil, Argentina. This is not the case in the Central American countries or in the Caribbean, where there is a bigger gap in terms of infrastructure.
Several things you said just made me think of, so yes, of course, in the US, we do have Amazon Prime, or the one of that across all kinds of scientific suppliers. But what we've all been going through in recent months has caused us to pause and realize that even though we may be used to getting things at an instant notice, we don't always have that option, and things have slowed down. And I think that that pause has really been an interesting moment for a lot of people up here who are used to that very instant feedback, as you describe, whereas you're used to having a lag. So that's interesting. With regard to your, with funding, thinking about funding piece, does the Mexican government support the biotech sector in any meaningful way, or are you largely skewed to private money, or is it a combination?
That's a tough question, because I don't want to talk bad about our current government, but they are really against biotechnology, especially biotechnology for agriculture. Our president has this idea that GMOs are really bad for agriculture, and he appointed an anti-biotech activist as the leader of the National Science Council. So they are not supporting biotechnology at all. In previous governments, they were just a little bit interested in these topics. And now we're not having this support from authorities. But this is the bad thing. But the good thing is that this has made us more aware of the importance of biotechnology. And the private sector and the universities are still pushing this theme in the national agenda, and the same for all Latin America. And since I told you, we have very talented people that are making this change. So I'm really optimistic about the future for biotech in Mexico and Latin America, especially after the COVID outbreak.
Well, that's a great lead-in actually to the next question, is just how the COVID-19 outbreak pandemic has affected companies in your network, how they're doing their work. Are they doing different work as a result of that and pivoting toward supporting research in that area?
Yeah, for us at All Biotech, it's been like really interesting, because since we are spread all across Latin America, we're really used to have Zoom conversations. We've been using Zoom for 3 years. So it's been really good for us that we have practice in working on distance. And for companies that are in our network, I think some of them are facing really tough challenges in terms of funding, in terms of sales, but they are really resilient. And every one of us at our network has this vision that every crisis is an opportunity. So right now, even when we needed to change a lot of things, a lot of our plans, we have this opportunity. Every politician in Latin America, every president, every prime minister, every people who wants to be somebody in politics right now knows what is a PCR and why is it useful. So we have this huge opportunity, and I hope unique opportunity. I really don't want another opportunity like that. But we have this opportunity to make the government aware of the importance of biotechnology and the importance of science. In the end, biotechnology is the discipline that will save the world from this pandemic. And not just for our governments, but for all the population. I want to see how the anti-vaxxers react when we have a vaccine developed with biotechnology. And the same for our governments. Hey, this is biotechnology. This is how we develop vaccines. Let's invest and let's put more attention in this.
That is a very good point. I mean, quite frankly, I think we're seeing similar reactions here in the United States of people in powerful positions maybe not have appreciating how important all these fundamentals are, but it's certainly now illustrated by everything that is going on, the importance of investing in that kind of infrastructure. Well, hopefully, as you say, it will turn into opportunities for you and your colleagues to continue to push on this and achieve those other things that you want to in the long run, while hopefully contributing to solving some of these problems in the short term. We need all of it.
Yeah, and we need to work together. Just in science, there are no frontiers, so we can do a lot.
That's right. It's a team sport. It's a team sport.
Exactly.
I understand that All Biotech hosts annual summits where you bring your group together. Can you tell us something about those and what the best takeaways have been from those gatherings?
Sure. We every year we gather 100 of the most promising young scientists, entrepreneurs, and professionals from all Latin America to discuss what are the challenges for our region. And this is the way that we create the community, right? Calling for new proposals, new leaders, and we engage in creating ideas, initiatives on how can we make these changes. Main takeaways, we need more startups to push to create jobs. We need more scientists involved in politics, translating the science into politics, creating regulations, and we need to invest a lot more in education to train the next talents, the next scientists that will travel through developed countries to learn the basics of science and then get back to create these new startups and to start new research groups here in Latin America and make this change.
In our last minute, because I didn't tell you, but I did start the timer, but in our last minute, can you
perfect.
Of a good example of a company that you've worked with or interacted with and seen grow through your network and your programs?
Yes. I have some examples. There is this company called Hijo in Argentina that is working on genetic improvement from livestock, and they have grew a lot in the last years. There is this company called Ficagua that works in biotechnological supplies for agriculture and try to improve the way that we use water in agriculture. So they also have learned a lot of the ecosystem and try to expand all over Latin America. And finally, there is Cynthia that is working on improving education for synthetic biology. And they are growing a lot and causing a huge impact in the region.
Wow. And that was exactly a minute that you answered the examples. Those are great stories focused on your natural resources and agriculture. This has been fascinating. I have so enjoyed speaking with you, Daniel, about all you're doing and bringing together people from all over your region to work on these problems, inspired to think of the fact that when you don't see the solution, you go and find it yourself and bring everyone along. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Hope you stay safe during these times, and we'll pay attention to what you're doing at All Biotech and keep track.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation again. I love the format. It's like a lot of adrenaline to keep the pace.
Yeah, we got to keep you on your toes.
Yeah. I enjoyed a lot being here. And as I told
Thank
you,
you
I had
again.
huge fun.
We will look forward to seeing everybody next time on 17 Minutes of Science. Take care.